All right, let's start with the first question here. So the first question actually is simply the empirical rule. Now, the empirical rule is just the generalization of the z-scores, the standard deviations. We're talking like one full step from the mean above and below and so on. So all of this can be answered by simply drawing a normal curve and just kind of placing the values. So for the first one, you should see the mean is 18, so I've placed 18 here. Then the standard deviation is 4, excuse me. So then I can just go every step is one standard deviation. So it's 22, then 26, then 30. If we go the other way, that's 14, 10, and 6. Remember the empirical rule is simply about 68% of the data will be within one standard deviation. That's everything between one standard deviation to the left and to the right. That's the majority of the data. That's why we call it a normal curve. Those are the normal pieces of the data, normal people. And then we have 95% will go to 2 standard deviations. And then 99.7 about percentage would be 3 standard deviations. So once I've built that, notice I can easily fill this in because this is 68% split in half. Then I just have to take 95 and minus 68 from it. That'd give you 27 divided by 2 because you got to split it again. Gives you 13.5 here, 13.5 here. And then finally, to find out the 2.35, that's just 99.7 minus 95, which gives you 4.7. Divide that by 2 and you get your 2.35, 2.35. And then to answer these questions, you just look at what you have. So between 6 and 30, well, 6 and 30, that's 3 standard deviations. That's 99.7, okay? If I go to 10 and 14, that'd be 13.5. 18 and 22, that's just one standard deviation above the mean, so that's 34%, and so on. So it gets a little tricky. Like, for example, when it starts saying like greater than 22, so notice a 22 would be everything below it. Or another way of thinking of it says what's greater. I know that everything below 22 is 84. Because that's 50%, right? Everything below the mean is 50%. 50 plus 34 is 84%. And therefore, everything greater than 22 would just be 1 minus 84. Or another way of doing it would just simply be like 50% of the data is above the mean. So that's 50 minus 34, which gives you your 16. You can go either way on there. So that's basically just the empirical rule. And now getting into this question. So the hardest part for these questions is not finding the z-score. It's just finding the percentage on the table. So for the first one, again, convert it into inches since your mean is inches and standard deviation is inches. You should get a z-score for the first one of -5/3. And then depending on what you use, the z-score table, you should come out to be about 0.0478. That should be the value there. And again, it's not terribly hard to find it on the z-score table. I think this is what, -1.66. So you can go 1.66 or 1.67. Either way is fine. But then using the z-score table, you would find that a percentage. And then to round to the nearest person, again, if there's 3,000 people and there's only 4.78% who are under 5 feet based off of that data, therefore you'd get 143. So that's really all you're doing for these questions. You're just using the z-score formula, getting the z-score, using the z-score on the table, and then finding the percentage there. So like this one says over 6 feet. The z-score here, it's really high. The percentage comes out to be like almost 99%. So anyone over 6 feet based off of this data, well, that's just above it. So that's 1 minus 99, which comes out to be really low. We're less than 1% of the people of Beckman based off of that data. And I take that percentage and multiply by 3,000. And that's going to give me right here about 29 or 30 people if you round. And then same idea with number 4. Figuring this one out. Again, this one's between. So the way I would approach this one is you already know the 2 z-scores. You know the farthest left, between 5 feet, -5/3 or -1.66 is the left z-score. The right z-score would be 2.66. So everything in between, if you think about the normal curve right here, let's just bring that up. It's a terrible curve, but we'll go with it. Is I want to know what's in between them. Well, everything below 2.66, that standard deviation, notice, includes everything there. So you have this overlap. So if you take your 99, that value right there, the 99.01%, that is already represented in the 2.66 z-scored. So I just got to subtract what's below the 1.66, which that turned out to be this value here, which was about 4.78%. So if I just subtract those, and I apologize, it's a little messy. If I subtract those, that should come out to be about 94% right there. And that's going to multiply by 3,000, gives you your 2,827, roughly. So a lot of these questions, it's pretty straightforward. The harder questions are going to be like question 5. So let's talk about question 5 and 6. But once you see it, it makes sense, and it's kind of the same thing over and over again. So let me backtrack here. Let me kind of erase a few things. I'll keep the z-score values in there just to kind of, so that way I don't have to rewrite them again. But if we read number 5, it says find. Okay, so let me erase a few things, and we're going to get moving on this part, because question 5 and 6, they're not super difficult, especially if we go over it once. I think you'll get it for the rest. So the key thing here is that you're trying to find the upper and lower limits from the mean. So if I know the mean is here in the middle, I need to figure out 80% where 80% of the data is, where the mean is centered on it. That means split 80%. That means this is 40%, 40% there. So what percentage of the data lies below the top limit? Well, that's going to be 50 plus 40, which is 90%, right? And then if I go 40% below the 50, this is going to be 10% there. So I need to figure out what the data value is, which, let me pull this over. I need to find where 10% or 9% is. So let me go to the negative z-score. I'll slide this over really quick. There we go. I'm looking for a negative 10. Sorry, not negative 10. 10%, which would be 0.1. And I'm kind of looking, and be careful. Like, it's very tempting to say like negative 2.3 would be 1. That's definitely not the case. It looks like I'm looking for 0.1. So looking there, or we're getting really close. It seems we are going to be about negative 2 what is that? Negative 2.8? Negative 2.8. Sorry, blah, blah. Negative 1.28. There we go. Because you see how that's about 10%? It's like 10.03%. That's really close. So negative 1.28 is what I'm going to use. So let me move that over really quick. So right there, this is negative 2. Sorry, I did it again. 1.28. There we go. And now if I look for the 90%, let me slide that over. Again, I'll just go to the table again, positive version, because I need to be the right of it. I'm just looking for 90%, which, if you look, and this is where it gets interesting, it should just be the exact same, just positive, which it is. 1.28, notice that's really close to 90%. And that should make sense, hopefully, because if it's the same standard deviation to the right and to the left, you're going to get the exact same value. It's just 1.28 positive and negative 1.28. So you don't have to find both of them. You just have to find one of them. And now all you have to do is set it equal to 1.28, meaning the z-score formula, because you know what the mean is. They've given you it's 65, so let's put 65 in there. Your standard deviation is 6. So now if I go down here, 1.28 times 6, I'm just solving for the data value, plus 65, and you'll get a value of about 72.7, 72.6, which if I'm looking at the goformative, what intervals were we accepting for that one? For number, sorry, let me look. Number 5, yeah, 7.28 is what we're looking for. So somewhere around there would be fine. I'll even put in 7.7 in there, but it'll be fine if you're, as long as you're around there. Okay. So with that idea, to solve for the negative version, I'm just going to do the same thing. Just set it equal to negative 1.28 times it by 6, add 65, and there's your other one, 57.3, and that value would work, okay? So with that idea, that's your interval. So I'll write it in an interval notation, so I'm going to use brackets here, so 57.2, and I'll put a period, or not period, a comma, and type in 72.3, and that right there would be my interval. And that's really all you're doing. So like question number 6, how do you set that up? Well, it's the same process. Now it's centered at 124. We can build it if you want to, but the idea is now it's 72%. So now this is 36, this is 36, right? So really 50 plus 36, that's 86%. All I have to do now is figure out what the z-score is with the table. Just pull it up, look for 86%, and now I've got my z-score. It's going to be the exact same value, which in this case, just so that way you can see another example, let's throw that over right here. Let's see if I can pull it up. There you go. I'm looking for 86%, which 86% would be right here at 1.08. So that means, pulling that off, that this data point would be 1.08. That means the other one would be negative 1.08 because, again, it's symmetrical. So then I'm just setting this equal to the z-score, and I'm just solving for the data there. Okay? And that's basically what you're doing for 5, 6, and some of the later ones as well. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Just to point that out, you're going to do something like that again with number 16 right here. This one's 80.7%. So again, you're going to split that in half. So you have 40.35 here, 40.35 there. So then this would be 90.35%. Find that on the z-score tables. And it's basically the same problem, just different numbers. And that's really it, because I can go over all the other questions, honestly, but they're pretty much the exact same. So I'll do a few just to kind of get you going. So like number 7, again, they've given you the mean, they've given you standard deviation. That's kind of where we are. And so now the question is, okay, they want to know what is it between. Well, again, thinking about the normal curve, you have one low standard deviation, which in this case you can calculate it using the z-score formula. You get negative 0.5, and then the 65 would be right here at 0.5. So therefore, I need to figure out what's in between. So all I got to do here, let me change colors one more time, is find out the percentage below here. Okay, and then remember, find the percentages right here, subtract them, and that's what's going to be what's left over. That's exactly what I'll do here, and it should come out to be about 38.3% for that one. And that's kind of what you're doing for 8 as well. So honestly, the homework isn't super exciting. 9 is a little bit of a little difference in that it's saying less than 75%. So that one, you're just finding the z-score for 75, finding what percentage is to the left. So that's pretty easy. Same thing with number 10. Find the z-score for 85. It comes out really high, by the way, because it's really far away from the mean, and so on. 11 is a little interesting in that it says what is above. So I'll find the percentage for 70, finding the z-score, find the percentage. It comes out to be about 84%, or 0.841. If I want to know what's above it, I'll just do 1 minus it, and that comes out to be 15.9% there. And same thing with 12. Once it's above it, so I'll find the percentage of data below 75, and then just minus it from 1, and there's my percentage there. So honestly, once you see it and done it a few times, these problems aren't that bad. So I'll end the video here. I won't finish everything, and hopefully this was a benefit to you. And if not, then come chat with me. Love to go over a few more problems with you. I'm sure there's some of you who this video didn't help, so please reach out to me and I'll try and help you. Okay? Good luck.